All right, scholars, today we are going to go into our research questions step of our phase. So if we're in our project, we're going to go to our understand phase, and we're going to go to do, and now we're going to do number 1, dive into research with the research questions. So this is going to be really important because you're going to be going into Miss Paretta's class and actually doing some research. So you're going to be digging into the causes of your problem and ways to solve it. So we're going to want some questions that are going to guide us. So there's a video here for you to watch on the research process. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start a research portfolio in a Google Doc or use the research portfolio template. So something that might be easy to start with is just clicking on that. It's going to give you that copy link. So you're going to make a copy. But we are going to modify this document just a little bit because I don't love the columns that they give you. So we're gonna make some changes. The first change, we're going to, yeah, I have the Docs app. Well, first of all, let's open this in Docs because this is a bit of a mess, huh? Docs app. Yeah. Okay, open. I'm gonna open my app. There we go. Okay, so there's the changes we're gonna make, and you can see my little changes on here in green. But we're going to leave the first column. The first column's fine, the research questions. And there's some examples here. Now, these are just examples. You don't have to use these. You can delete those examples. And you can try a different example, or you can write different questions. But then what I want you to do is I want you guys to do sub-questions. So when you do that, you're going to want to kind of break that bigger question down into some smaller questions. Instead of an answer, you're going to get those in your annotated bib. Let's work on some search terms. And then the assigned team member, leave that one the same. And we're going to delete the source column because you're going to do a full bibliography for Miss Paretta. So let me go in here. I'll show you guys again. Nope, that's the wrong one. I have multiple copies of this. Okay, so again, we're going to... instead of that, we're going to do sub-questions. Instead of answer, we're going to change this to search terms. And then we're going to go ahead and just delete this column. Delete column. There we go. Okay, so for example, if we're thinking back to our recycling question, the example that I was using. So first, we know that the problem is kind of like Del Lago needs recycling. So what causes the problem? So you can use that research question example that's given to you. It may or may not fit with your topic. It depends. So let me walk you through some examples. So let's say we're doing the recycling one, like the lack of recycling at Del Lago. What causes the problem? Well, there aren't designated. Nope, that's not a sub-question. So sub-questions would be like, why isn't there recycling? Another question about the cause of the problem would be like, where are recycling bins? And why isn't there recycling? Where are recycling bins? Other things that we might need to know about. Where is recycling? Or like, how does recycling work in Escondido? Okay. What causes the problem? What causes the problem again? So another sub-question would be like, what motivates people to recycle or not to recycle? Other causes of the problem. Where are recycling bins? How does recycling work in Escondido? What motivates people to recycle or not to recycle? What are other things that about the cause of the problem? Like, what are some hypotheses we might have about the cause of the problem? That's kind of where we're going with when we're trying to figure out these sub-questions. So you want 4 or 5 sub-questions to go with your main question. Okay, and then we'll say that this is assigned to Mrs. Wallace. And then we're going to look at search terms. So I think I got a decent amount of sub-questions there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 sub-questions. I could maybe use one more. Let's see. What are some common barriers to recycling? Okay, so maybe that's some questions. So things that we might want to look for in search terms. This is what you're going to type into Google. Recycling city of Escondido. So that might be a search term that I would want to type in to Google. What else? Recycling bins, Escondido, or San Diego, because you might want to use like San Diego County. I don't know who is in charge of, you know what, another sub-question might be like, I guess we kind of have that. How does recycling work in Escondido? Like, who is in charge of recycling? County, waste disposal, Escondido. We might want to ask, like other search terms, we might want to ask school admin about recycling or custodial, right? So talking to people can also be a search term, right? A source, as we kind of talked about before. We might want to look at barriers to recycling. We might want to look at recycling motivation. Okay, and we might want to look at like, what can you recycle? So when I'm doing my research, I might want to take like each of these and just copy it and paste it into Google and see what I get. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. No, I wasn't trying to do bullet points. I was trying to copy recycling, city of Escondido. So I'm going to take this. And then when I'm doing my research, I can just kind of like stick this into my Google search bar. And then this is where you're going to start to get sources. All right, so that is kind of, oh look, there's already information right here. All right, so that's kind of your questions thing. So your whole group is going to work in one document, and then each person is going to have one main research question. So everyone gets a row. So you're going to need to have the same number of big research questions as you have scholars. And again, you can use these example questions. They may or may not work for your project though, so you might have to come up with something different. And then that once you guys assign them, so the first thing I would do, like come up with your big questions, assign each question to a team member, let's say, and memoir the day. Okay, so assign each question to a team member, and then that team member is going to be responsible for filling out the sub-questions and search terms. So you'll only do the sub-questions and search terms for your specific question that you have been assigned. Okay, so once you have that, we're done. We're going to go back to our Pactful project, and we're going to go to the document step, and we're going to add some files. So now we're going to go ahead and add our thing. It's going to open up our tab. We got to select our thing. Only since everyone's sharing a document, only one scholar needs to do that. So now that I've got this, Now that I've got this, I'm going to go ahead and select the file that I want to submit. And then it's going to add it down there. So now you see that copy of Understand 1. Okay, once you're done with that, this is our last thing that we need to do for this step, so then you can go ahead and submit files and click Send to Teacher. And that is your research questions step.